Welcome, guys, to episode number 45. Um, Sounds like I'm getting an echo in my headset, which I thought I got rid of. So let's see if we can fix it. Anyway, tonight we're bringing on Sean Soland. And if you guys haven't met him, you should get out and talk to him. Awesome dude. Not quite sure why I'm picking up an echo here. Maybe it's just on myself. Probably. Yeah, anyway, there we go. So you probably didn't hear the echo. I hear the echo because it's feeding back through my headset. But we're here with Sean Soland. We're going to be talking about his third annual Trinity Soland Memorial Derby, which is his daughter. It's for his daughter who had passed away a couple years ago. We're going to bring him on here, talk about his show, what he's got going on, talk about the track, talk a little bit about a whole bunch of stuff. I got a gummy bear, big old 5-pound gummy bear that Danny Main sent to me after the last podcast. Thing's gonna probably give me diabetes if I try to eat that thing. But if I can get James to bring it up to me here, we'll have it. Otherwise, I will have to bring it on for the next podcast. It'll be sitting back there. I got a couple more things I'm going to start putting up behind me, things that people have sent me. Like I have a model car built by Danny's son. It was actually pretty awesome. It looks a lot like the first car we ever seen Danny run. He painted an American flag. We're going to get that up there. You can pretty much find him on every social media. His boy is pretty active. It's Broken Axle Mafia. I know he sends me a lot of invites, but a lot of times I'm not able to make it. But if you like supporting people getting into this stuff, reach out to him. But I don't have a video for Solon tonight. I'm going to actually have one that's going to be going out probably this evening or tomorrow morning whenever Sean wants to put it out for his derby. But I guess with that, we will bring him on here. Here's to Sean. How's it going, Sean? Can you hear me?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Busy. Been busy. I've got a little under a month and a half left until we hit Madison. So it's been trying to make sure everything's perfect before I turn it in for other eyes to rate and review.
Yeah, that'll be exciting for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm absolutely pumped. As you know, we were down in Gold Rush there, and it was a little bit different. I wasn't used to quite the way that they had things laid out. I learned a ton, and I hope to learn a lot more. I know we're going to be running things that we've never run before, in-car cameras. We're bringing the slow motion back out. High Octane's actually going to be on the ground, doing just social media stuff to help out, and pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you got going on out there in North Dakota?
Oh, this year's show's got a lot of new stuff in it. Whole new rule set and just a lot of stuff for the kids, especially this year.
Yeah, I seen you were giving a lot of stuff away. A moped, or not a moped. It's like a mic bike, the big old thick tire one.
Yeah, a little mini bike from Tractor Supply.
And then there was something else
And
you
then
said.
they also sponsored it's pretty cool. It's one of those little it's a one-cylinder gas powered, they call it a Massimo Jeep.
I need one of
It's kind
those.
of like a little go-kart.
I need one of those to get
And then of
around
course we got
at the track when I'm trying to get some film done.
there you go. They say they go up to about 30 miles an hour.
Oh Jesus, on one cylinder, huh?
Yep.
That'll get me from point A to point B
It's
pretty quick. I bet it'll fit down the hallways in the buildings.
probably. It's a little one cylinder. It's a 3-speed. It's a pretty cool little outfit.
It sounds like it. Makes me want to wish. I hope I could win one. I'm just trying to find something like a go-kart or a little mini four-wheeler or something to to get around. Usually I don't got to move too much, but my camera guys run around a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to think about purchasing one of those. I wouldn't mind getting like a go kart with a snowmobile engine on, a little smoky for the shows, but boy, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we're also giving away multiple pedal bikes and ice cream, and there's going to be all kinds of stuff this year for them.
I know it's always a pretty good showing in the stands there. I've been only to two of them. Both times the guys that drove out there were driving pretty hard. It was a fun show
Yeah,
to watch.
we've got some good drivers in the area, that's for sure. We like to put on a show, and hopefully we get a few more guys coming this year.
Yeah, the last time that you were running this show was 2 years ago, and when you had Brady Brady Larson was there.
Yep.
I remember there was a couple guys there, and they had pinned a couple guys in the corner, and they beat the ever living snot out of them because it was kind of a yeah, it was a show off between the two groups or whatever, and Brady got mad, and then Brady did it to them. I remember there was a lot of cheering going on in the stand. That was a wild time. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting year. No, we're hoping with the rule change that we can get some of these guys that have kind of shied away from the show that used to run here to maybe start coming back and get a little bigger car count.
So, what did you change on rules then?
Well, it used to be, I don't know if you want to call it a limited weld. It was kind of an upper side of the limited weld, and now we went to where it's completely stock. There's no welding on the frame whatsoever. Um, Got to run a stock bumper. You can stuff it, but it has to be a stock bumper. Not necessarily for that year car or anything, but it has to be a stock style bumper.
So, how
Um,
far are they allowed pre-rans? Are they only allowed fresh cars?
you can run a pre-ran, but I'm not allowing any fix-it plates, so
Okay.
it's completely up to them. I don't know it's going to bring a few more guys in, I think, and a tech should go pretty smooth on something like that. There's not much you can do.
Right. Yeah. So there's no so more or less the knowledge of how to put a fix-it plate in a car isn't going to help them at all. Uh, being that uh,
No,
being that they can't have a pre-round.
no, and I'm running both classes kind of like that, the Herbie class and the full size. Not saying that there won't be a few changes for next year. We'll see how this year goes. I know I'm going to keep the big cars are going to stay pretty much stock for at least 2 3 years just to keep it repetitive and have not change the rules every year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big one I've noticed is the rules changing year to year. It makes it rather hard for anybody to kind of want to keep up, whatever it may be. Um, I recently ventured into a whole different world of derby with Sam Williams there, and I actually see a ton of the drivers that are out there in North Dakota coming to these shows. Minnesota drivers, North Dakota drivers. Got to meet some new ones like Iron City, the Octane Team Octane, just the CPI and all them. Seeing all those guys run with their mods out there. It's almost a different world with all those guys, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and most of the guys from like Team Chaos are right here from Botany too. So
Yeah, see, I didn't really get to talk a whole lot with them. I own every shirt that Renegade Supply made for them. I bought out of every one of them. I think they had some of them were like Bernstein has his own shirt, and then there's that actual Team Chaos shirt. Um,
yeah,
Last time I looked in my closet, I seriously think Renegade Supply is all I have for shirts anymore. I threw all my old shirts I hadn't been wearing for 5 years away and replaced them with all those. So I got a bunch of Team Chaos ones. There's some guys from Utah in there. I don't know if you've bought any of those shirts, but they are very soft, very soft, very comfortable shirts to wear. And actually, anybody who wants to come do an interview with us, if they win at your show, they get the chance to have one of their shirts made for them. It's one of the things that Renegade Supply is working with us as a sponsor with is they get a card with the contact information or whatever it is to get a hold of Ryan, who then will do a custom shirt for them uh, and put it up on his site, and they can either buy. I believe they get one, and then they're able to buy one or as many as they want at a time and redistribute them how they want.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess I haven't ordered anything yet. I did look at a few things after I seen a couple of your podcasts there.
Yeah, they got some high. He made some high octane ones. There's actually one that I don't even have that I need to order for myself. Here is the veteran shirt. Um, he made it for Cyan, and unfortunately, some things went sideways. But she sang during Gold Rush, and she was going to wear it. He made it. He designed it specifically for her, and it didn't work out. But it's a very nice shirt. I'll have to get one of those just so I can show it off on here. But we got a couple of our own stuff over there if anybody ever wants to get anything.
Yeah, she did a heck of a job. I seen it on multiple videos.
Yeah, yeah. She ended up. Mark Elliott got a hold of me, and he just couldn't believe how good she was at singing. In fact, I think a lot of people were. Um, I'm a bit biased because I'm her dad, but I heard her sing at multiple events, and I just knew, like she doesn't even want music; she just wants to sing the song, and it's one of her favorites to sing. And at the end, she always gets me. I always cry like a little baby.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll end up seeing quite a bit more of her in the future.
Oh yeah, she actually got invited to come out to Madison to sing on Saturday, but she turns out she has a debate meeting she's got to go to or debate meet on that Sunday afterwards,
Oh,
and so she can't really turn. She don't really want to turn around and fly 6 hours back or 7 hours back to where they got to go. Um,
no, I'm sure.
so I still got to let Sam know because we just found that out today. So it's been one of those deals.
Yeah, I guess this year's show is kind of, there's a few changes that we'd like to make to the show to make it easier for the promoter and easier for the drivers and stuff. But um, we got to get a year or two of a full grandstand and a good turnout for cars, and maybe can make some of that happen. But
Yeah, I've
just
slept.
kind of focusing on making it a family show. Bring your family, whether you're a driver or just want to come watch. Just bring your family, and there's something for everybody there.
I've slept in the parking lot at that fair a few times, a couple times. Dwayne doesn't like to sleep in the Subaru. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be a Subaru coming anymore. She's sitting in the old garage. I brought her to the mechanic, and then it suddenly started having transmission problems afterwards. So I'm working on it, but I don't think that thing will be traveling too far anymore. I'll just start. I've been renting vehicles to go places, so I'll probably continue to do that.
Yeah,
It's safer bet, man. If anybody travels a lot, you're honestly better. Your best bet is to just rent cars and go. You get the size you need for the passengers, the amount of passengers you need, and you don't got to worry about breaking down because if you do, they have to bring you a new car. So
right. Yeah, no, the other big thing I guess about the show this year is we're gonna bring back doing a raffle car like they used to do a few years ago. You don't get to keep the car, but you get your chance to drive it in the feature. So you get your name drawn and you get to drive the car. You got a chance at winning that $4,000. So
last time I seen a
and
raffle car go out, it was spitting flames out of the exhaust. That guy sent that car. I think he pretty much burned it up. That was Pecatonic.
yeah, and we kind of quit with the raffle car just because North Dakota had changed their legislation to where we can't use that money for the Derby or anything like that. It has to go to some sort of a charity or organization or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I decided to bring it back this year, and all the profits are going to go to scholarships for people going to DCB. the Dakota College at Botno here in town.
Oh, that's awesome. And help out somebody with their schooling and the cost of it anyway.
Yeah.
I know it's getting more and more expensive to go to school. When I went to school, I thought it was expensive. I looked at prices not that long ago. It's very high.
Yeah, no, we've been pretty lucky with Serenity so far. She does good enough in her sports that for a couple years here in town, she doesn't have to pay much. But
Going to be getting
I guess we'll find out
scholarships
when she goes on after that.
through the basketball, or
Basketball and volleyball.
I see you post once in a while. It seems like you guys are all over the place with that stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been quite a few different places this year.
Yeah, I even seen you out here down in Howard Lake.
Yeah, we were on our vacation over at, we got a cabin just north of Park Rapids there. And we seen you guys were having a show down there. And we figured, well, we need something to do anyway. We drove down there.
So what did you think of that? I think your guys is compacts or Herbies, you call them out there, is they drive harder than the ones down here or in Minnesota. Not all of them. I don't want to say that because I sure I'll make a few people mad. But besides that, full size, they like to drive down there. I know that.
Yeah, no, it was a fun show to watch. That was for sure. As far as the compacts, I guess I think they probably drive a little harder here too. But
They had so many, I don't even know if they could drive that hard because they couldn't get enough speed down there.
no, there was a ton of them.
Yeah, they had a big old pile of it. That video is actually free now. We Crash, they just did some changes on their live streaming platform, and anything they put out now, 60 days, and then it's free on the platform.
Yeah,
So it's I know
yeah, we left there and
I'd come out there
it
last
rained
year.
so hard that it
I
rained so hard when we left there that we couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't get. Let's see, we got packed up. It started to sprinkle. We got in the car and took off. We probably got not even 10 minutes north of where we were at there, and the rain came down so hard that I thought we were going to be in the ditch. It was just that bad.
Yep.
Richard Holman jumped on. He said, "What's up, fellas?" But we just, yeah, no, that was crazy. I can't believe you guys drove 3 hours down to watch that show. Just checking out some stuff. It was good to see you and your daughter down there.
Yeah, I was glad we got a chance to talk to you guys when we were there.
Yeah, normally I don't get a whole lot of time during the shows or after the shows, but we were able to find some time before we came back up here, and it was a Sunday, I think. Wasn't that show got over?
I think so. Yeah.
It's hard to even remember what days I worked last year for shows. It all blends together in the end.
I can't remember much about last week, so
Yeah, I get that. CRS, it's a real thing. People like to call it Alzheimer's. It's just CRS. It just sometimes becomes permanent.
yeah.
So, what are all the classes you guys are running? You're running full size stock, or your rules?
We're running a full size bone stock class, and then we've got, which is new this year, and it's just going to be a one year thing. They got the old timers heat.
Okay.
Anybody's 50 and up, they get put in their own heat. It's the same rules as the regular full size. It's just we're paying first and second out just for that heat, and then they could go on to the feature too if they want. So
Everybody,
that's
but
something we're just trying just to. We thought it'd be kind of neat to see some of those guys that used to drive that don't anymore come back just for one and have some fun, you know.
right, right. Yeah, I know it's I've seen, it's really crazy because over the last couple of years, I didn't really know anybody. A lot of people, they don't really ask a whole lot about it, but I didn't really get into demo itself until what, like 3-4 years ago, and recently changed. Sorry, I have to plug this thing in. Um, but I've started to meet people, hear stories. Suddenly, people are coming in out of People who haven't been on the track in a long time are talking about being back on the track, and now I'm starting to see, like, I think this is the second time I've seen the old timers class, which then allows these guys to get out, so they're not going up against the people that have been derbying every year for the last 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to be able to get out and enjoy themselves, and then have the option. I think yours is, if you finish first and second, you automatically go to the feature. That is, am I wrong there?
Yeah.
And then
No, that's right.
everybody else has the option underneath that to go to the consi. So either they can take their money from the
Right.
heat and run, or they can try to make more money in the consi, and everybody else can have the chance to hit the consolation and then have the chance to win the feature. So that's,
Right.
they get a little bit of warm up period there without everybody just ramming the crap out of them, and then they get to make a run for it.
No, they can come and just try and win first and get their $1,000 out of that and take off if they want. But I guess it kind of depends on who it is too. But if they choose to do that, I wouldn't doubt that the young guys will probably give them some guff. But
Yeah. Hopefully they ain't too rough on them, huh? They get out.
yeah,
They get out of the car. The old man might not be too happy about it. It looks like everybody must have been alerted at the same time that we were live, because I suddenly got just a flurry of messages here on the chat here. It's a Roger Fuller saying he's going to be his first demo this year in a Chevy Venture at Roseau Fair. And he's running vans. Scott Curran, who's up there in Low County with the fair board, and I seen him. I can't remember if he's ran or not. Good buddy of mine. He's an evening gentleman. Richard's saying that's just called old age. I don't know. I've seen people at 30 have just as bad a CRS as people at 80. So Daddy Main's on here. He says, good evening. He sent me that big old uh, gummy bear.
yeah, you'll be chewing on that for a while.
Oh, it's huge. Looking forward to seeing you again this summer, Sean. It was very nice to meet you last year in Minot. That's JP Sweet, the
Yeah, same
down.
here.
And then Father's Day falls on old lady's birthday this year, so it might be like pulling teeth to get to watch Botno this year, but excited to see you have the show back. He's down there. He runs that Walhalla and Derby.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a few eyes on.
Well, and we'll be giving away the best paint job again this year.
You know, that's one of my favorite trophies or favorite awards, is that best paint job. Because when I was a kid and I come into the Derby, the guy that rolled out with that flashy squared wheels, or the spirals, which never last, but they look really good when they pull out on the track. I've absolutely always loved that.
Yeah, no, same here, and I guess that's why we're trying to do so much for the kids too, to get those kids there, because we got to start getting some young guys excited about it when they're little, because we need people to keep getting into the sport, or it's going to end up going the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a huge push with like Frank out in Pennsylvania. He's doing that youth national, or that youth nationals, where he reached, a ton of promoters are working with him. They offer a youth class, then you qualify there. I don't remember if the promoter pays for the people to go. I don't think, at least I know the ones in Minnesota that ran it last year, I don't think they paid. I know that they couldn't get to Pennsylvania because they didn't have enough money, but we did have some qualifiers in Minnesota. Hopefully next year we'll be able to get them there. We even thought about sponsoring the trip out there for these kids. We're going to be out there filming anyway.
Yeah.
It'll probably be under We Crash, but well, I shouldn't say we will be. I don't know. I don't know yet, but it would be pretty awesome if we were. But he's with Hardcore Derby Promotions. I'm sure you've seen a few of his things flash up on my page there. But he's doing that huge thing with the youth, because that's what he said. He's like, if we don't start, it's all going to die.
Right. Yeah, and we'll see what we replace the old timers heat with next year. We've done a youth heat here before. The guys that had the Derby before me used to do it, and there wasn't a big turnout for it, but I guess we'll see what we replace it with. If we get, I'd say 4 or 5 old timers to show up, at least that many, it'd be kind of nice this year.
Right. What's really weird is I see online, like, say with We Crash, right? So I put up those slow motion reels on We Crash, and they roll through, and then you get people who are talking about, well, that ain't a derby car. Derby cars don't have cages, and things like that. And it's like I've seen cars go through the side of another car, and had they not had a cage in there or some kind of reinforcement, they would have killed somebody. And that was with
Right.
pretty much bone stock cars.
Yeah, I guess when I first started, there wasn't much of a cage, but it's kind of nice having that cage in there now.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it was a door bar, to like I don't have any problem. I don't really know how cars get built and what keeps them together, but I've seen rules. For example, I guess with Full Arena, they have unlimited, pretty much whatever you want to do to that door, as long as it doesn't reinforce the car. You can put plates in the doors, weld plates, whatever you need to do to stop it from crushing in on you. Um, that I really enjoy that, seeing that in people's rules, because I seen somebody, well, Howard Lake, that guy got his throat cut the night before you were there it was just by a seatbelt. Um,
Yeah.
or I don't know if it was a seatbelt or the helmet strap or something. Anyway, something happened, but that was just that. Could you imagine if the bumper came through? Like I've seen that, where I've seen bumpers in the windows and the drivers hanging out over here and trying to stay away from
Right.
it.
Most places are pretty good about being lenient as you know, if somebody's got a lot of extra stuff done to their driver's door, they usually don't say much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the putting it over, like they weld all that stuff over the driver's door? I mean, it's good, but it's scary at the same time, because how do you get them out of the car?
Right. Um, I guess it does serve a fair amount for protection, but if you got to get out of your car fast and you're got flames coming out the hood there, that's kind of your only way out unless you're going to go backwards. So,
Right. Well, you got your motor in the front, which can start on fire. Transmission right there that can start on fire. Usually those are cut out of the firewall. And then you have the gas tank in the back seat, which can start on fire. I mean, you're completely surrounded by stuff that can start on fire. I mean, if your battery shorts out, it might be throwing flames too. You never know. But to get out of the car, but then again, now you're leaving your window wide open for, say, a bumper to come through.
yeah, no, I guess I myself, I wouldn't run anything over the window just so I had that there, but I guess everybody's got their preference too.
Right? Cody Hoffer came on. Looks like he's a little confused on, hey guys, got here late. What is the topic? We're just talking about Sean's show coming up here. We just got on a little bit of, um, we were just talking a little bit about safety. I was asking some questions. I'm always learning. I don't know as much as this guy. He's teaching me. And then Matt Staten, he came on. Facebook doesn't alert me anymore. Luckily, just happened to check. And there's my dad. Old timers, where do I sign up? He's not allowed to get in a car, even if he shows up with one. All right. I don't know if he could handle one big hit out there on that arena. James, he's in the other room. Good stream tonight. Um, but to answer your question, Cody, we were just talking about the heats, what he's got going on, some of the free stuff he's giving away for the kids. I mean, what kind of track, I guess, are you driving on? I know that there's a few guys that have been out on it, but there's a lot of guys that are just watching that. What kind of track do you have? Is it dirt? Is it rock? Is it clay?
It's a real hard clay. The guys who had the derby before I took it over, they spent quite a bit of time and had Mickelson Aggregate, which is a real big sponsor of the show, come in, and they really made a nice track to where it makes it almost impossible to spin down and get stuck. Uh, Probably could use a little TLC to try and get it back in that hard shape again. It's been, I don't even know how many years since they did it, but it's not one of those tracks where you're going to spin down as soon as you spin your tires and you're stuck.
I don't know if I've seen anybody
Not
stuck unless they were jammed up on the tires.
Yeah, it's not very often it happens there.
I think I seen a Cadillac last
Wish there
year
was a way to.
up on the tires.
Yeah, and I wish there was a way we could make it a little bit bigger, but we're kind of limited to our space there as
Right,
far as
right.
what we can do.
Yeah, it's pretty tight in there. It's not the biggest track I've ever seen, but it's still there's plenty of room to get a run in there. It's square, so it's not like you're getting stuck where you're turning and then you can't turn all the way around. Um, give her a little bit of gas and you get right around in there pretty well.
Yeah, we might try and move a few things back a little bit this year just to maybe make it a few feet on each side. But yeah, there's not much we can do with it. That's what one thing that's nice about it being such a firm track, even being a smaller ring, you can still get a good hit in. So
Yeah, and see even Cody here, the Botno track is really actually quite nice. Um, I definitely seen it was pretty nice when I was down there the last couple times. I mean, I've seen tracks that couple feet you're talking about now, like for example, and I hate to throw Tyler Miller into it here, but like one of the first tracks I ever started filming was that Bagley one, and that Bagley one was always a small track. I mean, it wasn't very big. They ended up stretching it out last year, compared to all the years, like the 3 years before that I've been filming it. I was actually down in UTC, Utah, for their state fair or whatever, and Dwayne went down and filmed it. And that track, just that few feet, I think it was like 5 or 6 feet, they put on two edges, and it made such a big difference for the ability for guys to get around, put hits on, that the show was just crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to believe that track in Botno. Oh, quite a few years ago when we used to really have turnouts there. I can remember being in the ring in the feature with like 23, 24 other cars.
Oh my God, how did you get around in there?
You didn't. It was pretty much whoever was either in front of you or behind you, that's who was going to get hit because that's the only option you had.
You guys are crazy out there. I gave North Dakota guys a hard time for a while just to get them to react to what was going on, but after learning the rules and seeing how these guys are driving, I got to see some of these guys get into some hard cars. And for example, Garen, Garen gets out there,
Yeah.
and he ran the state fair with you, didn't he? I don't remember if he was in your class or not, but Garen
Yep.
Garen got out there and was wide open. You were putting on a show. Would you pull out of that one for a place? I my memory's
So
so shot.
I think I ended up with seventh or something like that.
Yeah, but like you came out there with a way underbuilt car and you ran as hard as you could. They shoved you up on the bank. You pulled off the bank. I thought you were done when you got put up on the bank. You still got off the bank and kept her running. It was a good show. Then my daughter wanted to come give you a hug afterwards.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the show there.
Yeah, she still talks about it to this day. I'll see the picture. She can't see, but she still remembers it. Sam's on here. It says, "Hey guys." Um, yeah, that was Sam's show down there at the North Dakota State Fair. But yeah,
Yeah.
you really ran that thing. And then I seen you again at Sam's show in was it Rugby, where you folded the whole front right up. You guys came across there. In fact, you hit Cody Hoffert head on, and the whole front of the car just down it went right to the ground.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that was
Probably shouldn't have nosed up in '03, but
yeah, it was a good show
I
though.
didn't have any steering and I figured I had to get at least one good hit on somebody. So
You definitely did. I mean, that was quite the run actually, because that Rugby track was a big one. It was rough, but you came across there pretty fast. And there's Caden Main, and we were just talking about him. He's on here, says hello.
yeah, that state fair, I was tired that day. Buddy of mine and I started swapping motors at 11 o'clock that night.
You guys are nuts. At the last minute, decide you're gonna go and just go. Are you building for Are you building for Low County, or are you just going down there to visit?
The plan is to bring a car.
That I mean that's it. That should be a pretty good show. We're working on some surprises. can't put anything out until anything's solid, but should be a pretty good time.
Yeah, I want to build a car for the main class and go over there and try it. I've never went over to Minnesota Derby before. Then I guess we'll see how my daughter's car holds up in Bottineau. You never know. Maybe she'd be able to come over and run the stock class over there.
Oh God, it'd be awesome to see both you guys show up out there. The first night, I think I'm gonna put free on YouTube, and the second night will be on WeCrash. So it should be a pretty good deal. And here's Cody. I seen him coming and went, well, here we go. Yeah, it's always awesome seeing.
Yeah, I got the short end of that one.
It's always awesome seeing you guys out there. I know that I've put it on a few videos that I had of you, but I never see you. Like in the beginning, you're a little bit careful, and then about halfway through the heat, you're like, "Oh, I'm done with this," and away you go.
Yeah.
It's always fun to watch. So how do you expect your drivers to drive at your show? You thinking, I mean, you're doing Mad Dog? I need to pull up this. I should have had it loaded up so that we could have looked at it. I can still load it up through my computer here if I probably should.
Yeah, there's the stock class, the big cars, it's $1,000 Mad Dog. And then the Herbie cars, that's $700 for Mad Dog, so
That's that should be pretty good. What's your payout? How do your payouts go? I mean, I guess I'm gonna get this loaded up quick, and I'll bring it on screen.
The full size, we pay through 8th place. It goes 4,000, 2,500, 1,500, 1,000, 500, and then the last 3 places are 100. $1,000 for Mad Dog. The old timers is 1,000 and 500 for first and second. Plus they go to the full size feature. Compacts are 2,500, 1,000, and 500 for second and third, and then that's a $700 Mad Dog for them.
Pretty healthy payout. Are you expecting heats and features and consolations? Or are you just thinking just one and done?
The compacts will most likely be a one and done. The full size, especially with having that old timers class that can go into the feature, we'd like to run heats and consies for that. So
okay.
And I wanted the bigger Mad Dogs just so that everybody drives hard. It's a lot more fun for the crowd when people are out there driving hard.
Right. Well, I was having some problems with it, and I guess I figured out why. It's because I made it too big. Go figure. Let's see. Actually, I could probably just say it offline. It'll be a smaller file. Sorry, I'm listening to you, even though I'm not looking at the camera here. I just want to get this
that's right.
on screen so people can see it. I probably should have had this loaded up to begin with. Been slacking as my brain has been focusing on. You actually have a group, don't you?
Yep. I think now that it's changed again this year, it's the 3rd annual Trinity Soul and Memorial Derby. Is the name of the group.
Oh, there we go.
Are going to do a Calcutta for the feature this year too.
The Calcutta. Now explain that, because that's not something the Minnesota guys are used to dealing with.
You get all your guys that made the feature out in the ring, and then you one by one you kind of auction them off, and then different places do it different. Whoever gets the winning car, bids the highest on the winning car, ends up getting the whole purse or part of the purse out of everything that you collect in the Calcutta.
Okay.
Some guys, you get a guy in there that's known to win derbies, he can go for anywhere from $700-800 up to over $1,000. So
That's crazy.
And then this year when we do it, we're gonna. I don't know the split for sure. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a 70-30 or 25-75. We're gonna donate part of that to the fire department in Botno.
Okay.
They're always there every year volunteering. They don't get paid to be there, and they gotta sit out there and sweat their butts off in their fire suits while we have our fun. So
Well, they get to watch a free derby. A pretty good derby too. Yeah, this thing updated, and of course I am having one heck of a time finding anything.
yeah, and I guess like I said, I'm hoping we get a real good turnout, but it doesn't matter if we get 8 cars for big cars and that's it. The money's getting paid out. It's a guaranteed purse.
I definitely
If we
guaranteed
get
me
a real big,
more than 8 cars. I've seen every time I've come out there, it's always been pretty good.
and then if we get a real huge turnout for it for some reason, we've got a lot of good sponsors in the community that allows me to get those purses where they're at. So if we get a real big turnout, then it's 100% payback. I don't keep any of the money, so the purses will go up the day of the derby if they're able to.
Right. It's even got web pages as sources. This is all new to me. You think it'd be super easy just to bring it up, and it makes it so complicated because they added so much stuff to it. I've been using, I'm pretty much just producing these days, and doing this stuff is now Collins. I don't know if you've ever seen Colin at any of these shows, but he runs our graphic machine. So I'm a little bit out of practice. I got to get back in for coming out to these shows. Like I said, I'm pretty mainly focusing on the guys that I have been working with that really brought me into things before I got into all this other stuff, making sure that they're taken care of, and then a couple other shows here and there, and trying to take it a little bit easier this year. Got a few things I got to fix and work on in my life, and next year we'll hit it even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not letting me bring anything up, of course. Did all that.
Well, if anybody wants to
See what I'm doing here?
see the flyer, they can just go on my Facebook there, and it's on there. So
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know what I did. It got all kind of crazy here.
I thought maybe you got pissed off at it or something.
Yeah, I wasn't listening. I was like, take that. See if you like that. So my video got super quiet, or my audio got super quiet on here, and I don't know quite. Oh, that's why. There we go. It turned my volume knob down on my sound bar. That's what happened.
Oh,
But I might have gotten mad and just about threw it out the window. Yeah, but you were saying you can go on over to your social media, and
yeah.
I'll share it after the podcast too. Put it out there.
Yeah, the actual Facebook page for the Derby is a private group, so you have to ask to join it or whatever if you want to get on that. Just
Okay.
because otherwise you end up with so much crap trying to go in there that
Yeah, spammers, people posting stuff. I've even seen people selling stuff inside of events or groups they don't belong in. So,
but I try to not only put it on there, but just put it on my actual Facebook account too, so that everybody can see it usually.
okay. Yeah, so if you guys go ahead and follow Sean, You always find it too. Good dude. If you get time, get out there and say hi to him. But you got the you guys always got something going on. You're always working on something. So I don't expect to not hear more news as we get closer to the show, as you're always trying to add to the show, trying to
Yeah,
make
no,
something better.
you never know what comes along between now and then. We still got a few months left, so
Yeah, no, it's like JP. I know his he didn't have a bunch of people pre-registered. I'm like, well, JP, these guys don't know who you are. They're probably scared you're going to put their names out there, and then people are going to come wreck them. And he's still working on tech. I know that was the biggest question for him was who's on your tech line, and
yeah.
because people haven't really seen him at that level teching but he's getting it covered. There should be people there that know exactly what they're looking at. Um, how's your tech line? How are your tech people? Are you head tech?
Um, I don't know if I'd be considered head tech or not. I got a couple young guys that are going to help me out, and then um, I did talk to a guy that's pretty well known in the derby world. I don't know if I should put his name out there because I don't know if he's coming to tech for me. He said he'd like to. He said he'd be more than happy to if it works out, but I don't want to put him on the spot if he ends up not coming either. So
Yeah. I just seen this after all that drama I just had with my machine tipping over. JP goes, well, hell, if Sean's here, does Botno need a voice? Do you need an announcer? He's asking. He'll come out there and announce for you.
um, we got Brandon Longy out of not far from here. He's coming to do the sound and stuff, but I I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't doubt that he'd like to have somebody else on there with him.
Okay, yeah, I know. JP Sweet tends to haul around with me, and even if he came out there with me and didn't end up announcing, I'd throw him in a booth for commentary. So you got something going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I'm sure we can get him on the mic at least for a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to get you in a booth here for commentary with either Dwayne or JP, depending on who's running and where we're at. And see, here's Cody
Yeah,
with the tech team is a real make or break show for me. That's what I'm learning. Coming into this, I couldn't weld a square. So, you guys amaze me with all the work you put into your cars. I could never tech anything. If you ever hear me on the tech line, I probably wouldn't go. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've seen for a lot of shows. Is the tech really is what comes down to making or breaking it for a lot of people.
yeah. No, the biggest thing is, well, this year it's kind of shifted a little bit the last couple of years, but if you this year it's going back to if you come and you're not built to the rules, I don't care if it's going to make the turnout low or not. You're either going to cut your stuff off or load your car, one of the two.
I've seen some of the cut lists. It's just odd. It's crazy. Yeah, see, Hunter, tech loves your cars, Cody.
No,
uh,
and with the rule set that we have this year, it's almost impossible to get away with too much because of the what's limited to what you can
right.
do.
But here's even
It's not hard to spot when something.
Andy Oaksa, who ran full size bone stock at Gold Rush, which they're not bone stock, but he knows how to tech compacts. He usually runs compacts. Those guys, I've never seen anybody bring full size out and run them like they're compacts before, but they did. I don't know if you've seen any of
Yeah,
those slow mo videos of them guy or his team, the black and white ones, wailing on cars, noses straight up. Yeah, they were wild
yeah,
out
I've
there.
seen a few videos of it.
Yeah, they were. I've never seen that. The first night I walked out, and all four of their cars noses straight up in the air. I'm like, yeah, they probably are not going to get all those back on the track. And the next night they came out with all four cars. They looked like they hadn't even been bent once. It was crazy.
Yeah, I know some of those guys can really do some amazing stuff.
Well, and see, like with Gold Rush, they weren't allowed to work on their cars overnight. They had to go to bed. They were allowed to wake up early in the morning and work on them. They tried to do that so people weren't getting hurt and stuff. And Yeah, I have no idea how in that period of time from I couldn't even get my videos done in that period of time. And you hear these guys are pulling the front ends down on these cars, making the cars look like they're brand new again.
Yeah. Yeah.
JP
No, the
JP Sweet says tech usually laughs at me when I pull through. Somehow I even underbuild an MWFA car. I can see it with him.
yeah, the rules are way lighter this year than they have been for quite a few years.
Oh, I was still muted there. I'm sorry. You got it though. Um, why, Cody? You building a car to go to
Yeah,
Bonneville
there's
or what? See if he answers that one.
I can when I get off here, I can send them the PDF of the rules too, so you can look at them. Because yeah, there's not much you can do. It's pretty much a car that you can throw together awful quick if you really want to.
Well, I seen you put a car together awful quick. That wasn't an awful quick car to put together. So
A lot of caffeine.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing is a lot of caffeine. I don't know if there's drugs involved or not, but some of these guys go into Gold Rush a week. They give themselves a week to build these cars. I mean, some of these guys, like the Utah boys, they started building their cars a year ago. Um, and then I hear some of these guys coming in. Oh yeah, but we just work wouldn't let me do it, and I had a week, so I took a week off before the show, and I built a car. So within a week, they built these Gold Rush cars, which was that's
Yeah,
some
I
fun
know
work.
a lot of these guys that go to these big shows and stuff. They've been in so many of them. They've got it down to a science. So if you give them just that little bit of time, they can put together some really amazing builds.
Yeah, these guys are madmen. I don't know how they do it. It amuses me. It amazes me every time that I see these cars roll in. When I know I'd been talking to these guys, like, oh yeah, I haven't started it yet. What do you mean? We're like 2 weeks out. I couldn't even get the car done with 6 weeks or 6 months. So Cody's still undecided where to go yet. So you never know. He's got a few places he's looking at. I know.
Yeah, that's the hard part as far as being a promoter. Is there's at least one show, if not multiple shows, every weekend during the summer. So
Well, I know
you
Timeless.
got your drivers kind of pick where they want to go, and
I know Timeless actually stopped doing a bunch of shows there, and I know a lot of these shows are going more towards fair boards for running. So I'm guessing that a lot of these shows where the promoters, where people know the promoters, I think you guys are going to start seeing a bit more cars. I know fair boards, not saying anything bad. I know you're on a fair board, so I can't say anything bad. But when I've seen shows ran here right here at home in my hometown track, they actually killed off our because they didn't know anything about Derby. They just were in it for the money, and they killed off the Derby. Whether it be strangling them out of money, because I mean, you ain't gonna run a $1,200 car for $300. They
right.
couldn't get cars because they weren't paying enough for the cars to come. North Dakota shows blow my mind because you guys all pay a bunch of money. It's like, how are you supposed to survive in that? But you guys do, and I haven't been disappointed by any show I've seen of yours or any show I've really seen out there. That's always been a good time. Always good people. I mean,
I guess I don't know how some of the other promoters do it. I guess I don't do it to make any money. I just pretty much volunteer my time to get it put on, and um, like this year, I just want to try and get enough guys here so they can see kind of how the show, the direction it's going in, and try and do it the best as possible so that we can maybe keep building on it every year. But
well, see, like if you have a plan like that, building on it every year, I know there's well, North Dakota's notorious for having people who uh, don't do it for making money. Like you guys really love the sport, you really try to push it out, and you guys got a bunch of cars just sitting around in hidden places uh, to run. Out here in Minnesota, there's no cars left. There's actually a lot of promoters that are killing it off um, by taking too much money, and then fair boards. don't like any money being paid out in order to bring a show. There's almost too many shows here. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but some of them will die off, over some time. Like JP Sweet, careful about the fair board talk. He's the president of the fair board up at Low County. He actually made a huge move to change how I possibly see fair boards running it, but he was also part of the Derby world before he got into that. Being on the fair board, which like you're on there. You have a ton of knowledge with Derby and the way things have run. And here you are on the fair board teaching these guys, this is we got to have a plan. This is what we're doing. Let's see how this goes. We'll make changes as we go if we need to, but let's make a focus forward and really try to grow this. And it'll show, for
Yeah, I'm the new guy on the block as far as the fair board, so I don't have a whole lot of pull there yet. But
yeah, but you have Derby, and that will make a big deal when it comes to Derby. I mean, you ain't gonna get to make the choices as you ain't gonna have as much pull on say things like fair rides, but you're gonna have a lot of pull on the Derby stuff, and that's good. I think every fair board needs at least one Derby guy on there so that they can even if they got to be a translator to what's going on to explain things to them. I think it's a good idea.
yeah, and I guess the reason we're able to put these payouts that we do is, between the fair board and the money that they give every year, which they did up their money this year for me, so that helped out. And then, if you look at that flyer that you designed there for me, I mean, it's just surrounded with business names because we had so many sponsors this year. So
Yeah, and sponsors are huge. Like, if you love Derby and you own a business in the area that you are, or even if it's not the area, it can be anywhere to really throw your name out there. But in order to really capitalize on that help for your business of the area, uh, reach out to these guys, reach out to these promoters. If you see that they're putting a show on, uh, sometimes the promoters are kind of shy about reaching out for sponsorship. I know I had a hard time when I was helping promote the enduros here in town, trying to find sponsors. I didn't know how to talk to people. I did find a few, but uh, there was people that were like, "Well, why didn't you come talk to me? We could have done this. We could have made this." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't think you would say anything." Well, if these people want to sponsor, reach out, sponsor. I know I sponsored trophies all the way out in Pennsylvania. um, I think it was $450 I paid for one class of trophies. Um, there's I try to sponsor drivers when I can, whether it be just a sticker or some gas money or whatever it may be. Just trying to help out. I know there's a lot of people who want to help out. You gotta reach out to the promoter sometimes and be like, "Hey, guy, this is what I can do. What can you do with it?"
yeah, yeah. When I stopped and talked to Tractor Supply Company, which is one of our bigger sponsors this year, now it ended up between them and the Fair Board and Mickelson aggregate, that's a lot of money they've invested there.
Yeah,
Plus all our smaller ones, but Tractor Supply was just happier than heck to help out with the stuff for the kids and that and that's kind of what they said. They said there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the community, and nobody ever comes and talks to them about wanting to know if they'd help out with stuff. And they said they'd love to do more. So
oh, and a lot of the bigger businesses. I know corporations are kind of goofy, but the smaller they can be big businesses too, but they're more locally owned. A lot of these guys love to help out in the community. They like to get their name out there. They just love to help out with everything that's going on, especially with the kids. Um, people forget to ask. I mean, as a person who's sponsored and needed sponsors, I know it's really hard to reach out to people and be like, "Hey, you sponsor me?" Um, I mean, you're from that community. It's a little bit easier for you to get out there. But yeah, any sponsor who sees this that ever wants to sponsor a promoter, reach out to them. Just let them know, hey, I'd love to get my name on there. What do I got to do? A lot of times, I mean, these guys think it's thousands of dollars, but it could be a couple $100, and that is more of a help than anything. Just to help boost, whether it be payouts or better trophies or things like that.
Yeah, and I try to give you know, a shout out to all the sponsors, which will be coming on Facebook here. Even though, like you said, the ones that can only do a couple $100, that all helps. So the only reason, like with the other ones that I mentioned them a little more, is just because of the dollar amount that they've sponsored. But like Tractor Supply Company is new this year, but as far as Mickelson Aggregate, they've been probably the biggest sponsor to the show, other than the Fair Board, for going on probably, I wouldn't dare say 6, 7 years, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good community over there. I got to meet your fair board last time I was out there. Um, when Sam had it, and the lady talked with me a lot. I didn't get to meet them the first year; they were super busy. This year, I just happened to be we were in the right place at the right time, and I got to sit and talk with her for a bit. They seem like they're pretty awesome people. Um, I love coming out there just because of the people. I remember the first year we came out there, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna be on TV," so everybody kept walking in front of the camera because they thought we were live on TV. We were just live on YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. Uh, just coming out there and being part of all that. It looks like we got Dwayne Dorholt jumped on here. He said he hasn't been feeling very good, so he wasn't here today. He had some liquid evacuating from the body in the reverse status. So,
Nice.
oh yeah. And JP, this is too long to put up, but he goes, I was actually a Fairboard Fairboard member first. When I took the show over, we paid $400 to win, and the total purse was $2,400. Hitting the road and getting to know the community and the Derby world was an eye opener. He jumped in with us, whether it be with us or announcing. He got to see, what was important, what wasn't important, and he started with the bring the Pabst. He said, personal opinion: if you don't have a couple Derby guys on a board, bring in a promoter. If you have a couple on your board, advocate and try to make the show the best it can be for every party involved. And that's absolutely what I feel. I feel sometimes these guys get a little bit too much about money, needing to bring money into the fair board so they can do their stuff, and they forget about the drivers that spend all this time and money on their cars. I've seen people build these cars. I know this summer I'm gonna have a lot more time, so I'm actually gonna go spend more one-on-one time with people in their garages they build, interview them, things like that. Garage interviews. I know Cody Hoffert's gonna be one of them. I'm gonna get out and talk to this year. Austin Derringer. Nobody likes asking for money. I think all small shows have a mutual goal to get big enough just to be self-sufficient. Uh, yeah, but even the top end shows, like say Gold Rush, Madison, all them, they have they go and get sponsors because without them sponsors, they couldn't do a lot of things that they do. JP Sweet says absolutely agreed. Austin, plus being able to work together and exchange ideas is huge. Um, that's another thing is we've seen a huge shift in promoters actually talking to each other. Before it was always a war. You wanted to cut each other's throats. I'm not saying you in particularly, but just like in Minnesota, it's a nonstop. People trying to cut each other's throats, trying to take their shows, trying to take their drivers, and we've actually seen a big shift where a lot of these promoters starting to talk together and be like, "What can we do? What can we do to make this work better?" And it seems to be working pretty good. There's a couple guys out there who they don't care about anything but themselves, but um, for the most part, the majority of I think of promoters are like you. They want to get along, they want to talk and change ideas and bounce things around off each other. And I know I see like Sam calls JP calls Tyler calls this person, Sam called, like he called Sam Williams with the Ultimate Derby and talked to him, just to ask him a couple questions of things he didn't understand. And that's a guy right there who will pick up the phone every time if one of you guys call him, and just be like, "Hey, I don't understand exactly how this is work. How do I do this?" He'll tell you top to bottom exactly how to do it. He's not trying to build competitors. He's trying to build friendships, and he's a good dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm definitely not out to try to take anything away from anybody else. Just I'd rather work with people and try and get a couple handfuls of cars at my show, and hopefully there's something that they can go on to the next one with afterwards. But
Yeah, but you have that growth. You're not expecting everything the first year. I mean, obviously, the more the better, but you have really focused on a plan of a 3-year build, which is usually what you, as a promoter, is what I've seen is this magic number of for the minimum amount of years that you really want to push to try to grow everything. Like Dwayne Dorholtz always says, right here, it takes a village. Um, it takes so many people to do all this. It takes time to grow, time to I didn't know anything about Derby. I love Derby. I love watching Derby. I didn't know anything about Derby till people like you and Tyler Miller brought me into this and was like, hey, you know, come film our stuff. Well, then I sit back and I watch and I learn and I see how you guys do this stuff. Um, it's just crazy. It's crazy, and like getting to come film for you and trying to put out advertising or with everybody. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of just talking too much, I suppose, but trying to. It's just a lot. There's really a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. They don't see the amount of hours you spend on the phone answering questions or on messages answering questions or uh, the amount of like things that you try to do that even though you have never done it before, you're still trying to do it, trying to learn it. And I seen before I was getting behind on video and I seen that you put a video out using the flyer and everything else, like trying to get that out there. Like you really want this show to be heard. And with all of us working together, it seems like it really helps. It,
Yeah, no, we really appreciate you and Dwayne and the rest of them that have come up here and the flyer, all kinds of stuff that you guys have done. So
well, I'm
definitely
absolutely
doesn't go unnoticed.
I feel absolutely honored to be able to work with you guys. I never thought anybody was going to call me back. I mean, I think when I started working, when I first worked with you, I think we had what, one or two cameras. We just started going live. We had never really gone live. Thankfully, there was good enough connection there. But now we're at the point where we have satellite internet, um, so we're able to actually get enough speed to get a pretty really good stream through. We have new graphics now that we do. We're able to do a lot more stuff than we were able to do before, but it took 3 years to get there. Really, a lot more equipment, a lot of new equipment. Um,
Yeah,
our wireless connections are now way faster. So honestly, if we ran all of our cameras on wireless connections, you would never even know we were running wireless because a lot of the times they lag behind. So you can actually see the difference in the video when you try to switch cameras.
yeah. I know the first year you guys were here, I think I maybe got a chance to talk to you guys for 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, you were super busy, and then we flew in, came in at like I think we did 90 or 100 all the way up there. Got there, uh, passed out for like 2 or 3 hours in the car. At least I did. I woke up. Dwayne was gone. He's wandering around taking pictures of the fair. We did all that. Then we got done with the show. Talked with you for a couple minutes. Jumped in the car. Flew out. We flew back home, and I think I got home. No, I was so my not. I got home the night like 2 hours before work. I actually pulled into work and went to sleep. But I think with Botno, I got home at about 2 in the morning, passed out, woke up, and went to work at 5 in the morning. Which this year, um, I don't think I'm going to have to do that. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be able to focus on getting everything at these shows, getting there early, being able to do a lot more.
That'd be great.
Yeah, a lot of my problem was you'd get to a show and you got an hour to set up, but it takes 2 hours to set up everything that we do. So you're really sitting in a rough spot there.
Yeah, I know you guys have talked about doing like in-car camera or something that first year you came up, and the time just didn't allow for anything other than taking a few pictures and videoing it.
Yeah, we actually have gotten to the point now where when we have enough workers, that's the biggest problem is finding enough workers. I don't know how you do it. We end up with, and if we have enough workers, we can actually do in-car cams live. So that we're actually able to include it in the live stream, so we can switch to it. I know we got it actually worked out at Gold Rush, and I was 6 stories up, and I was still able to connect when they come through the tunnel. And if I can do that, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to connect just fine when we're at these events uh, on ground level of my trackside. So I just have to have enough
Yeah,
workers to get all that to work out.
right.
But renting bigger vehicles really allows for that to happen. A lot of the times, packing 6 people into a Subaru and then putting all the equipment on the roof rack is quite the deal.
No, finding people to help out is definitely not an easy thing either.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you got a lot of people who like you and are like they just want to do it. I mean, like Dwayne's been with me for 3 years now. The guy's maybe made $400 and has had a bunch of gummy bears and got to go to a bunch of free shows. That's about all he's really got out of the deal. And he's been there for pictures, and he's been there for he's ran video camera, and he sets my stuff up. He keeps me in line because I'm like squirrel, you know. So I'm off wandering over here talking to promoter or talking to fair board or whatever, and he's over there setting all my stuff up. It's been great. Yeah, we got Hunter asking me where's the big bus at. I'm too poor. I don't make enough yet to buy a big bus, but I would definitely want that in the future. We're trying to figure out something for gas mileage, because gas mileage is a bit of an issue right now. Whether it be a truck, and maybe we have to get a truck and a trailer and just start towing a trailer around. I don't know. Dwayne says we absolutely love going to Botno. He got 2 hours of sleep the day after at best and went back to work. Oh yeah, we did that all last year. I mean, we pretty much burnt ourselves out. I think that's why he got married this year. Instead of putting a bunch of stress on his relationship and things like that, we're gonna try to slow her down a little bit, take care of the guys that we really have gotten to know and have really brought us into their I should say just families, because they're big Derby families. So that's what we're gonna work with.
Yeah, no, you gotta spend time for yourself too. That's for sure.
Well, you only got 4 months out of the year to really get as much as you need, and then I'll be producing at Badger and I'll be producing at Gold Rush, so it's like I got two in that time of the year. Otherwise, everything fits between end of May and September. Like everything's just jam packed in there.
Yeah.
So is there anything else we want to talk about? I'm sorry, I just been talking away here.
I think we've pretty much covered everything that the show is about anyway. So,
Well, if we got any questions for anybody watching, you go ahead and ask. I'll pop her up there and we can ask it. But I definitely love going out to this show. If you get a chance to, even if it's just to go watch, get out there and watch it. I mean, like last year, Sam ran it. This year, Sean's running it again. He ran it the first year, and it is the memorial for his daughter, who had a tragic accident. And it's everything that Sean's doing for this is putting money back into the community and trying to get kids, like he's got some stuff he's giving away for the kids, and everything's bringing in good stuff for everybody. And he doesn't take any of it. He just wants it to go back into the community and the people that really put the time in. And see, Dwayne, I'll bring the wife on the family shows, and she'll understand when I gotta go be Sloan's right hand man, or right hand. He didn't say man. He could be dropping a transmission for all I know. I gotta say the full word because I watched somebody say just the shortened version of transmission, and they got banned for 30 days. What was the Facebook page for the show now? It is Trinity's. Actually, I can just bring it up, and I can't bring it up on the screen, but I can bring it up on here and read it to you. So I don't know if anybody can even read that flyer on that, but it is under the 3rd annual Trinity Solon Memorial Derby. Oh, we're missing the B on Derby. June 15th, 2025 at Bottineau County Fair, which is in Bottineau, North Dakota. Austin wants to know.
Yeah, and for anybody that can't find the page or whatever, if they do want to see it, they can send me a message on Facebook there too, and I can send an invite if they have any trouble.
I will actually. I do believe. I'm afraid if I bring it up here, then we're gonna get a bunch of echo. But I will share the group and I will share the flyer onto my personal page, so you guys should be able to see it and find him pretty easy. If you can't, otherwise it's just Sean Soland. It's SHAWNSOLAND. I think you got. It's a picture of your daughter playing basketball, right? Or is it volleyball? I can't tell from the little picture.
Basketball.
So yeah, if you see his daughter playing basketball on his profile picture, you will. That is the correct profile. Austin asked if they're doing Power Wheels. I do believe you are doing Power Wheels. I remember because I had to put it up back. I didn't have it on the flyer. I actually had to correct it. Put it
Yes.
back up there.
Yep, we're gonna do Power Wheels, and then all the kids that are involved in the Power Wheels will win ice cream from Dairy Queen.
Oh, that's awesome. Dilly bars.
I'm not sure. It's which one is it? CFP Repair is gonna sponsor the ice cream for the Power Wheels, and then Dairy Queen is just giving me a bunch of ice cream tokens or coupons, whatever, that I can hand out to the other kids too. So
Minnesota communities reach out a bit to derbies, but North Dakota, I don't. I mean, besides Utah, I don't see as much outpouring towards the derby community from the actual communities themselves as much as I do from what you guys got going on. You're doing awesome out there, and your community really supports it.
yeah, our community is real good about helping out with stuff like this. So
That's absolutely awesome. It's good to see. Believe me, I mean, sometimes in Minnesota things get a bit disheartening, trying to find sponsors and stuff like that. But just seeing the outpouring of support, it's awesome. I love seeing it.
yeah.
Well, I suppose, Sean, if we don't, I'll let you get back to the rest of your day here. I've probably talked your ear off a little bit.
Oh, that's all right. It was fun.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I hope I get to run into you here even before the show and sit down and BS for a while. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you guys do run into Sean, sit down and talk to him. Uh, great guy, great guy. Love talking with him. Love running into him. Um, usually you're out running around doing your daughter's sports stuff. I've noticed you get out
Yeah.
there doing that a lot, and if you're not, you guys are running cars. She runs a car once in a while. You run cars. I think the first car she ran was at the first memorial show, right?
Yep. Yeah. That was her first show, and she had her choice of what she wanted to build, and she wanted to be in the full weld with the big guys, so that's what she did.
Oh man, how did she fit in the car with them balls? They're huge. I'll probably get in trouble for that from Facebook, but um, I just, I know she was nervous as could be before she got in the car that show, and when she got out, she wanted to do it again.
Yep.
That was awesome. Um,
Yeah, and it wasn't what you'd consider an easy show. She was in there with um the guys from around here. Corey Peterson, Austin Massfeldt, Brady Larson was in there.
you know,
Aaron Counts. I mean, it was a hard hitting group of guys in there.
yeah, it was a wild show. Those guys definitely, they were. Some of them were after blood, if I remember right. There was the blood feud going on at that time too, which didn't make the show any easier for her to jump in for her first time. Uh, I kind of love running into those blood feuds. They really make the show a little bit wild because they don't care if they win or not. They're just there to junk.
Right.
But she did pretty good. I mean, it was her first time out. I couldn't believe she even got on the gas. I mean, I know the first time I went in, all I did was hit the gas and run into things. Like I didn't know who it was. I didn't know what car they were in. Hit some of my friends. Hit people I didn't know. It didn't matter. They were all black. So
Yeah, no, she's looking forward to this year again.
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. She's just a go getter on all them sports. It doesn't really matter what it is. You getting a derby with your daughter's got to be awesome. I know with mine being blind, it makes it hard because I wish I could just sit down with her and do this. She's a very creative person. to
Yeah.
be able to put her. Hopefully in the future, they'll be able to fix her vision, which I'm really hoping. I mean, things are always changing, but be able to get to do that with her has got to be just an amazing time.
Yeah, no, it is. I've been able to have the chance to do it with both my daughters, and yeah, I'd rather build a car for them than for myself, actually.
Yeah, yeah, but you got to go out there because what if they get hit by somebody wrong and you get mad? Now you got a car, you can fight back.
Yeah, that's the bad part about the Botno show is I don't have that option because I've got to be on the berm instead of in a car. But
Well, Sam Williams had his daughter get in a car for the first time out at the Brady Larson show.
oh,
That was the first time she ran, and she ended up out there with that heavier build, uh, with a bunch of good guys that knew exactly what they were doing. So that was, I mean, her dad's Sam, but she was out there driving for the first time. You don't matter how good your car is if you don't quite know yet. It's quite the experience.
yeah, no, and maybe that'll be the show we end up doing it. I'd like to do a 2-man extreme class with her just so I can
Oh,
then
that'd
I'd
be
actually
crazy.
be in the same car as her.
Well, I know they got one over in Badger. You guys got time.
Uh, we won't have time for that, but not while her basketball's going on.
Yeah, like Chris Williams, they did that 2-man extreme down there at the Brady Larson show, and I think he ended up upside down and on fire and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Just wild. Then you got a couple guys, or a couple out of Minnesota here. They run together. It's is it Mister? His last name's Wiener. If you've met him, he's a great guy. Him and his wife's name's Cecilia, I think it is. I remember. I don't even know
yeah.
if they're married. I'm still, I just got to meet these guys. I've talked with them a bit, but they get out there and they won Blizzard Bash, and they've won quite a few 2-man extreme shows. It's pretty awesome.
I know when I brought it up to her before because we talked about it before last year's Brady Larson show, and she said she was game to do it, but she's gonna be the one running the throttle and the brake. So
I don't know. Well, I suppose actually that'd probably end up being a lot more exciting, huh?
yeah, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
She might need she might need to learn where the brake is. She might just hold the gas down, and you just got to guide her in.
yeah,
Cody says more places need a 2-man class. I want to run one with my brother. I've been seeing that grow a little bit too. That those 2-man classes. I think Iowa's running compacts like that, 2-man teams.
yeah, we thought about doing that as the filler class here 2 years ago, but it's kind of hard to get cars up to Botno, North Dakota anyway, and I just don't think we'd have enough cars show up for it.
I didn't even know there was mountains up there. Be honest with you, I had no idea. We came in at nighttime, didn't even know those mountains were over there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they're
I've been to I've been
more
to the
of big
Smoky
hills.
Mountains. I've been to the Smoky Mountains, and I feel that those mountains are bigger than the Smoky Mountains.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but they just look that way. And you guys got turtles everywhere because it's the Turtle Mountains, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because we need to take a shower, and you guys had the RV place there, the campground there with there's a big old turtle on a snowmobile,
Big,
like an
big Tommy Turtle.
yeah, an old Arctic Caddies right now. I got pictures of it somewhere here. Uh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dwayne wants to run a 2-man
Well, it
show
looks
with
like
me.
this computer is about ready to die.
Well, I suppose then we'll let you get going before Sam's phone actually died last week. So I'll let you get off here before your phone dies. But thank you for coming on, and
Yeah, thanks for
definitely,
having me.
yeah, definitely hope everything works out good. I'll share some stuff over here so people can find you, and hope to see you here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on again, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
So Dwayne wants to run a 2-man show with me, huh? Who's doing the gas and brake, and who's doing the steering? I'll do the gas and brake. I jammed my wrist last time I drove steering. there's always going to be a huge pause, but yeah, it's Botno is a good place if you guys can get out there or you can support it. Like absolutely, you're supporting a good cause, supporting good people. Cody, I know we're probably going to be seeing you a couple places this summer. We're going to be trying to get with you in the beginning of the summer here or springtime in order to come sit down and talk with you. Maybe you can have one of your cars or your old cars in the background or something like that. That'd be fun. Go take a look at what you got working. If we worked in my garage, we wouldn't even be able to get a camera in it. It's too tiny. But I suppose I'll wrap her up today, guys. I've probably talked your ears off. Just been in one of those talking moods. Dwayne, he was not sick. He's in the fish house now. He was sick yesterday. He says, I'll drive you into everything. Well, we better not hit the tires, man. Jesus. Don't want the dirt banks. What's a two-man show? A demo? Like driver passenger, one steers, other one gas and brake. So, Roger, a two-man extreme is when there's two guys in a car. One drives with the gas and brake, the other one drives with the steering. A two-man show is when you got two cars per team. So they usually roll. It isn't like 2-on-2. It's going to be 2-on-2 on 2-on-2. So then you end up with 8 cars, 4 teams, and you go out and battle it out. It's actually a lot of fun to watch. It's like if you got a brother or a sister or a dad or an uncle or somebody who derbies and you guys get to go out and run together. I mean, just the experience of running together is awesome. Not really sure. My house keeps deciding to eat my wallet. Well, you said you got steaks, right? So that's all that matters. Oh yeah, no, dude, the two-man extreme would be a blast. Like I said, we've seen people who run together all the time. With Kyle, I think it's Kyle and Cecilia, and they always do a lot of fun. Well, we can't hit the pace car, man. They don't got a pace car in Derby. If we can make this bone stock thing work and we can increase the purse for 26, we'll be seeing a Duo X in Baudette. So there you go. From the man. If that show turns out really good this year, which I believe it will, you got five months till the show. But if you're going to be signing up, I recommend signing up now. It's a lot cheaper. There is a cutoff on the pre-registry time on that. That'll be the Bone Stock Gold Rush rules. 5,000 to win. Should be a pretty fun time. Yeah, and Cody's talking the two-man extreme class. Okay, so yeah, you said two-man team. You gotta say two-man extreme. They're both fun to watch, though. I absolutely love watching both those shows. Seeing it quite a bit more often, more places we go. Suppose I can see here. This is the Botno flyer. I don't know. You can't really see it on the screen, so I'll just take it down. But Sean Solon, he's got it. Jacqueline, we actually probably at this show taking pictures. If you guys know Jacqueline, she's come out and Torgerson is I don't remember how to say their last name. Her and another buddy of mine have the same last name. And it's said the same way, but she does awesome pictures. I would love to see her get out into bigger shows if I can bring her there. And believe me, I will. She helps out, works with High Octane. She's absolutely amazing. She just wants to be part of it. I tried to give her some money last year for gas, and she wouldn't even take it. But she's doing a good job there. She also does pictures for people's weddings and personal shots of people and things like that. So if you guys are ever needing that, that's how she finances all of this. Roger Fuller, I'm still trying to find an 80s Caprice for full-size Baudette. Yeah, good luck with that, bud. There's people all over the nation trying to find those cars. They're trying to find. It's even harder to find the Crown Vics, which there was a lot more of those made. Cars are definitely a harder thing to find, especially in Minnesota with all this salt they throw down. I mean, like my Focus out there, crap car to use for Derby, but I'm just going to use it as an example. Is if that thing took a hit, it would probably fold in half right away. There's just nothing to it. 80s Caprices, if you can find those things in good condition, awesome Bubba wagons. I know where there's 2 of them at, but whether or not the guy's going to sell them is beyond me. But those are down by Pine River. I drive past them all the time when I'm working. There's a couple Woody wagons. What are they? Ford somethings. There's some Chevy ones too. You can find them down by like Emily, Minnesota, and things like that. They're actually not in bad shape. People just had them parked in the garage a lot of soccer moms, things like that. We've made so many great friends on this journey. Absolutely. I mean, this has been the best part of this journey. Getting to meet people, getting to learn who people are. I mean, sometimes, like I said, there's a couple times we've learned that these people aren't that good people, but the majority of the time, I don't think I have that many people I could say actually did a bad job or were bad people. A lot of these guys are really good people. I know the perfect spot for 80s Vicks and Mercs. Just bring the wallet, right, Cody Hoffert? Oh boy, giving away the secrets. I know I have seen people spending $1,200, $3,000 on a car they're just going to destroy. But it makes a big amount of difference, especially in these big shows when you're running them, to have a solid car, non-rusted. I'm learning a lot. I learned a lot in the last 3 years about cars, derby builds especially. People just laughed at me because I had no idea what I was talking about in the beginning. I didn't even try to pretend like I knew what I was talking about. I'd just say something and be like, "What? Oh, I don't know anything. Don't worry about it." Now I kind of understand what people are talking about when they're talking about their plating. I watched a few videos on cars taken apart and the plates being thrown on the stop them from bending up at the firewall and stuff like that. Like I don't know what works and what don't work because I don't actually get to get out and test it, but at least I kind of understand what's going on. All I know is cameras and video equipment. That's all I know. And hopefully, what I've learned over the last year is going to be a big difference this year out on the track. Um, High Octane Media is going to be on the ground at in Badger at the Badger Nationals, and Dwayne will actually be on the ground. JP will be on the ground. Um, I know Hunter will be working with We Crash for uh, on track stuff. He'll be on the handheld running around the wireless. The wireless will be better this year than it was last year. Or I'm sorry, at Gold Rush, we upgraded the wireless system. The system we had to use before was their system. We didn't like it. You couldn't go very far without it freaking out, and they couldn't get it fixed. But we already have that problem taken care of, and you can see a lot better video. Everything we shot last year, you can go over and you can watch it for free right now on WeCrash.tv. If you got an account, you can go right in through your Roku channel and you can sign in and you can watch everything. That I believe that's um, Botno and Rugby and oh, what else did we shoot out there? Anyway, there's just a bunch of them. Then we got Thief River and with WFO shows, anything that we had on the pay per view, that'll all be up there. I don't know if they cut anything out. My versions of them they all still release after a year. That was the contract I signed. So when that year is up for each one of these shows, you're going to see them landing on High Octane with the full show. That includes commentary, except for Rugby, because at that time I wasn't recording my own shows. I thought they were redoing the whole thing. They cut them up into classes and put them up. So I just want to make sure that those go out with all the commentary. You can hear all that, and you have the option to skip it instead of wanting to watch it and not have that option. Everything is free on there right now, including Gold Rush. If you want to go watch it, they just decided to do this. Make up. Well, it wasn't just they. I'm a part of that too. We all decided that. Well, actually, Sam decided with a big push that some of these heats will be coming out on social media. That'll be if you go back and watch their last podcast, actually, which came out Thursday, it'll explain to you what they're doing. They actually show you on screen things like that. But they're going to be having everything after 60 days is free. So the initial time to pay you have to pay is in the first 60 days. The first during the live, it's going to be at a certain price. After the live is over, after the event's over, then it's another price, which is lower. And then at 60 days, it's free for you anybody to watch. I wish you could get out to Badger Nationals too. All the parts vendors at Gold Rush had me in heaven. Oh yeah, there's the parts vendors are crazy what they got out there. And a lot of these places, if you call them and tell them what you want or show them what you want, whether it be CAD or whatever, they can build them for you as well. Sounds like there's a couple guys out there that are always pushing the basket. They actually call the head people of different shows and ask them if the things that they're building is worth their time or not. Because if it's not worth their time, why would they build it? It would just get canceled. You know, it just get the car would get disqualified because you can't fix a lot of those parts. But even me, you know, like Sky High Steering was awesome. Um, with their steering columns, I know Tate Weir and his brother both run them, and they've definitely kept those cars going when they were straight up and down. Um, I seen Gray Why Wait Buy It Live. That's the best. Oh, absolutely. But they also don't want to charge the drivers to keep watching them for a year. That's a big argument coming out of there is why keep charging the drivers after they spent all this money to build a car? They're just they're not trying to make a fortune off from it. They're just trying to make enough to make it worth their time. I mean, they pay a lot of money for a lot of these guys to come in and work. Um, they got it like even with High Octane to make a bid to come work, things like that. So they got a lot of overhead that they got to pay in order to make the show what they're trying to make it, and they pay their workers. Uh, Once that's all paid off, then they turn around and they take the rest and they put it right back into the companies. So they just figure, why should anybody be buying it 60 days down the road? They want everybody to see it. It's just they pay their initial costs and it's free. So they're trying to change it. I mean, you go look at even Badger right now. You go look at the prices that they're charging on their show. Uh, I know I've bought in shows. I didn't buy anything with demo there. I didn't go watch that. I was working actually in Pennsylvania when that was going on. But I did buy like Blizzard Bash a couple years ago, and I think I spent like $180. I think every night it is $25 to rent just one show one day, or it's $20 a day if you buy all the days. So what's that? 4 days. It's $80 to rent all of Badger State, and those guys are paying $25,000 to win the Mad Dog. Um, I don't know if you've ever seen a show with $25,000 for a Mad Dog. I haven't, but I've seen pretty big Mad Dogs, and it turns into a pretty wild, violent show. I'm guessing that's the way this is going to roll. They're trying to figure out ways to stop people from sandbagging, whether it be putting a time clock out there, whatnot. They did ask a question, and they regretted it instantly because people were like, "Don't change the format. Don't change the format. Don't do this. Don't do that." But they're just trying to figure out ways to make this so it is something that can be on TV to really blow it up, where it can be on ESPN, because nobody wants to watch that 2 hour heat. Yeah, it was absolutely epic, but most people like after 2 hours, like they're done watching. And these big shows are 4, 5, 6 hours a day, sometimes longer. And see, like Hunter here, it really sucks when you buy it, it doesn't work or it constantly buffers. Um, That it does suck like that. We have been working on the server to try to change those issues. I know that I usually have a pretty good deal with it, just because I have fast internet. But like if you're watching on your phone and you don't have full service and it doesn't want to drop down to a lower resolution so you can watch it at full speed, then you get issues like that where it buffers a lot of the times. We've definitely been working with the servers. I don't actually have much to do with any of that. I just hear what's going on. But I know they've been working a lot with the servers. The website has a whole new layout. They're going to be tagging every class, whether it be cars, trucks, whether it be high octane media, whether it be We Crash, whether it be, and they're just going to tag all this stuff. And you can actually click on the tags or the categories. It'll bring up every truck heat from every show, whether it be We Crash or high octane or whatever. It'll bring them all up together. Then you can just sit and watch truck ones all day if you really want to. I know there's quite a few truck ones. You can do compacts, full size, super stock, whatever it may be. Um, Definitely a huge show. Definitely a huge website shift. brand new company as a couple years ago. Um, really been starting to blow up lately with a lot of advertising and new stuff that's being introduced into it. But definitely, you're going to start seeing a huge change in everything that they're doing. There's some stuff I can't talk about. I knew about this stuff with the free stuff for a while. Obviously, I can't speak out of turn and throw that out there because we weren't sure how we were going to do it at that time. They do have um, a new YouTube channel, which we will be putting up some heats on that. Then you'll be able to watch that on your TV as well. Oh, see, and I didn't know that, Hunter. You can keep the average beer drinker in the crowd entertained for 3 to 3.5 hours. More than that, and they start dropping off or not coming back the following years. You always have the diehards sticking it out, but the sport relies on the average guy in the stands. That's absolutely right. And this is things that I've heard Sam Williams talking about himself, where he's been watching this. We Crash was bad the first year. This year, it was, I'm guessing, wasn't bad. But Derby Nation is the one that always seems to buffer even when you're on good Wi-Fi. See, I had problems buffering too. I don't know if it's because of the amount of people that are watching their thing and they ain't looking at trying to upgrade or change anything. Um, I do know that WeCrash is trying to change the entire pay-per-view platform. And see, yeah, this is also it. Most places now are pretty good, but it always depends on the internet availability at the venue. Absolutely. We actually have demanded that we had to have internet in order to come in and do this stuff for these people. And they will actually bring internet in and install internet before we get there. And sometimes we're talking like Utah was crazy fast. They already had it. But they had like 900 megabytes a second. Like you could have done 4K times 10 and still not even slowed down and sending it out. But at that point in time, where you send it out to, is it going to come? Is it going to hit that and then jam and bottleneck, and then you ain't gonna be able to get it out to everybody? I think that's the biggest issue a lot of these guys have is they're afraid to put it out at a super high quality because if you do that, it bottlenecks, and then too many people want it, and the servers can't keep up. Um, I'm not even part of that, but I've heard it and I understand it, but I don't want to. It's way more than I want to understand about it. Just like I talk about cameras, people don't want to understand what I'm talking about with cameras, but um, that's where I land a lot of the times. Most places now are pretty good, but it always depends. Yeah, okay, I already read that one. Um, so you think it was better this year, Hunter, with shows and whatnot? For We Crash, I know there's been arguments and talks and fights and getting along and then finally coming to solutions and putting stuff out and like We Crash as a whole has changed so much in the last year. Um, direction they've changed. They've changed their website layout. They've changed out the thoughts that they got going on, and they're definitely trying to work towards what you guys enjoy more than what they enjoy. They want to change the whole pay-per-view game. They don't want to try to force you guys to pay forever. That was a huge one. I mean, I remember getting a phone call driving in my work truck, and he's like, "Well, what do you think about this?" I'm like, "I think it's a great idea. I think you got the right idea because otherwise you're locking everything up behind a door. Why not get it out there, let everybody watch it?" We Crash definitely was compared to the first year. Well, that's good to hear because I had something to do with it the second year, so I'm feeling a lot better. I feel real good, or I really appreciate those words. Means a lot. Like we should be changing it a lot more as time goes. And see, We Crash ran really well watching Gold Rush. I'm glad. I I had a situation where I asked somebody to do something, and anyway, it caused a problem where it shut the internet stream off in the middle of the first segment. I am at fault. I'm at blame, and I felt terrible about it. Sam didn't even yell at me because he's seen I was already beating myself up about it. They held the second set of cars coming in just to make sure that the live stream didn't miss anything. But I know nobody was happy with me after that. Won't happen again at Badger. We will have everything set up. It was me taking it was me wanting to do something that I was told not to do, and I messed it up. So won't happen again. Otherwise, the graphics for Badger are on me. We're trying new things like in-car cameras. We're trying with the slow motion. We'll be having a slow motion go. As these guys are learning, we actually only did the slow motion because we wanted it, but we wanted to teach some of the guys that had never done derby before how to spot collisions coming ahead of time, and this was the best way we found how to teach these guys. Put the cameras in their hands, and they just went crazy. We got so much more slow motion than we've put out that you'll see it as it comes. And see, like the one thing I like on WeCrash, it lets you select whatever heat you want instead of having to fast forward through the whole live stream to get to where you want. I do like it, but at the same time, you miss a lot of commentary. So some people really like to watch the commentary. I think that the best way to do it would be to have it either like as a whole stream, but being able to have click points. So like if you clicked on compacts, it's going to bring you right to the compacts for that day. Or if you wanted to watch the national class, it would have a frame thing at the bottom that you click on. It would bring you to that class. Maybe not so much per heat of that class, but just that class period. So it'd bring you right to the beginning of it, and you can watch it all. When it gets done, you can back out. I don't know how you'd feel about that, Hunter. That was just a thought I had. But I know that live streaming through or having to fast forward through a 7-hour broadcast is a lot harder than it looks when it's on a cell phone. I stream on other things, like besides just this stuff. So I get it. I watch streams. I want to see the quality actually come up. I mean, right now it's at a 1080, 30 frames a second. I want to see that come up. I want to see WeCrash be the best, and honestly, I feel like there's a lot of support in my corner on that. So I do believe within this year, you're going to see the quality come up a lot. Where when you watch them on these big screens, it's going to look absolutely mind blowing, like you're there. There's a lot of other things going on too that we can't talk about, but there's huge things coming. It's a cutthroat world out there in the pay-per-view world, and I'm part of WeCrash, so I want to see WeCrash do the best. I want to see it offering the best stuff. It's going to be a lot like it was with High Octane, just a lot less chance taking. A lot of times I'd throw that stuff out there and try it on the spot, whereas WeCrash likes to be planned out. They literally plan out. We have meetings every week to talk about where we're at with the show. See, yeah, Cody Hoffer here. I enjoy the in-between heat talks when you have good people in the booth. Absolutely. Especially if they're talking about you, you want to hear it, What now if that section's gone, then what, And remember, it's all about the experience. Good night. Dwayne's tired of listening to me talk. I actually love the commentary. I had Dwayne and JP on there, and they were just going crazy when we were in Thief River. Probably some of the best I had. Tyler told a story about how he got into it and his family and everything else, and it was a really good story. And I went back to watch it, and it was gone because they cut it into heats and cut that out, and I was pretty bummed out about that. So I wasn't recording at the time. But Elk River will be up there. Anybody else that ran any of the shows that I ran on WeCrash, those will all be free. Yeah, see, the commentary in between heats is nice. So having it to where you can select which classes you want to watch, like you said, would be awesome. That's what I want to see. A lot of the times on, like, say, YouTube, there's timestamps, and those timestamps go right into the video. I don't know if he can do that or not. I mean, he's literally coding everything by hand. YouTube's been at it for a while, so it's really hard to compete with the abilities of YouTube, no matter who you are. Austin, got to hit the pillow. Working overtime tomorrow, and 4 to 5 hours seems to be my sweet spot for sleep. Good podcast tonight. I'll watch the rest on break tomorrow. You ain't gonna have to watch much, but it ain't gonna be much longer. But no, I don't want to hear them talking about me. Oh, Cody, they'll talk about you. It's good stuff though. I mean, if somebody says they said something and you can't go back and check it, now you think that they said something bad. Maybe they were saying something good. You never know. I mean, unless Tyler Miller's on there, then he was just calling you a sandbagger. The legend didn't even show up tonight. See how it is. But I mean, like, with you guys throwing things at me, I mean, you guys come up with something with We Crash TV that you don't like, message me. I'll bring it up in a meeting. I'll talk to these guys about it. It's just more input. Like, they absolutely love taking input, but no, the only input they get is when something happens, like something bad happens where the stream drops or, but it's okay to give, give ideas or commentary or things you'd like to see. They'll work with it. If they hear from enough people that they want to see this certain thing, they'll do it. I mean, how else are you going to change to be the best live streamer out there for pay-per-view? You got to listen. You got to hear what people want to see. They have a pretty good idea, but doesn't mean they're always right. Doesn't mean I'm always right. I mean, I do my own thing. Not everybody loves my stuff. I also learned that I need to have a fan on my unit when I'm streaming because I overheated in Iowa and I about quit my job or quit doing this after I read all the comments. But I sat there, thought about it, realized there's no victims, got up and continued on the next day. Hey, can we discuss paint colors in the commentary section? Sure. We were talking about you earlier, Jacqueline. I'm guessing you weren't in here, but let everybody know you'd be running around these shows, taking awesome pictures. Tyler Miller not being here. Who is the sandbagger now? That's right. Tyler Miller's a sandbagger. Never seen him in a car. I've heard he's been in a car. Never seen him in a car. But I suppose, guys, with that, I'm gonna jump off here, get back to doing what I'm doing. I got a video I got to get out, at least ready for tomorrow, for Sean, and let him go. If you guys need flyers made up or anything like that, just get a hold of me. If you want to win, if you want a shirt made of you or your team or whatever it may be, come to a show that we're doing and win it. I will get you a card that will get you a free shirt designed for you and put up on the internet. Just got to get a hold of it. Finished late in Iowa for a reason. You whooped it. Yeah, it was stressful, but the day ain't done until you get the stuff done. So I mean, I think that day I was up till 4 in the morning, right? 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that. Anyway, you guys sat there with me. You want to instead of getting to go back and sleep at the hotel, everybody stayed up with me. Whoop, can't wait to hop along. Absolutely. We'll see you guys out there. But with that, I'm gonna end the stream. And remember, guys, it's all about the experience.